Today we're going to tackle one of the most mind-bending thought experiments I've ever come across. It comes from a classic Buddhist text called the Diamond Sutra, and it's a riddle that completely challenges how we think about what's truly valuable.
So the Buddha poses this question to one of his top disciples, Subhuti. And on the surface, it seems pretty straightforward. He asks, which of these two actions creates more merit? More positive value in the universe?
And here are your options. Option 1. You give away an entire universe literally filled with 7 kinds of priceless treasures. Or option 2. You just take in, really understand, and then share 4 lines from this teaching. Now, it sounds like a no-brainer, right? But believe me, the answer is going to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about wealth, wisdom, and even reality itself.
So, to unpack all of this, we're going to walk through 5 key ideas. First, we'll get a sense of just how massive this question really is. Then, we'll dive into 2 different kinds of merit and the 2 different worlds of truth where they exist. After that, we'll uncover what this sutra really is. And to wrap it all up, we'll hit the final mind-twisting paradox at the very heart of this teaching.
Okay, first things first. Let's really try to wrap our heads around option number 1, because the scale here is just staggering. We're not talking about a planet full of gold, or even a galaxy. It's way, way bigger than that.
The text uses this wild term, samchondechon seigi, which basically means the entire cosmic shebang, 1,000 worlds times 1,000 times another 1,000. Now imagine filling that unbelievable space with the 7 treasures, gold, silver, gems, you name it. And then you just give it all away as an act of charity. The good karma, the merit from that has to be just astronomical, right? We'll hold that thought.
See, the whole reason 4 lines of text could even compete with that is because the sutra talks about 2 totally different kinds of merit, and they are absolutely not created equal.
So the first kind is called tainted merit, or you're a book. This is the stuff we know and deal with every day. It's worldly, it's temporary, and it's finite. Think of it like a giant bank account. It's amazing while it lasts, it can bring you all sorts of comfort and good things, but eventually, the well runs dry. But then you've got untainted merit, or mudabok, and this is a completely different ballgame. This is the value that comes from true understanding, from wisdom. It's transcendent, it's inexhaustible. It's not something you can spend or use up. It's a fundamental change in your entire being that leads to real freedom. It's not about what you have, it's about what you are.
Now, if that sounds a little abstract, don't worry. The text gives us this perfect analogy that just makes it all click into place. Just imagine someone is stuck in a prison cell.
This just lays it out so clearly. Giving that prisoner a gourmet meal and a warm blanket, that's a wonderful thing to do. That's tainted merit. It makes their imprisonment a lot more comfortable. But they're still in prison. Understanding the sutra, on the other hand, is like being handed the key to the cell door. That's untainted merit. It's not about making you comfortable in your prison, it's about setting you free from it entirely. It solves the real problem.
So you might be thinking, okay, why is this even a question? Freedom is obviously better than comfort. And you're right. But the reason it seems like a riddle is because we're often looking at the world through 2 completely different lenses. The sutra plays with both of these levels of truth.
On one hand, we have conventional truth, or sesokje. This is our everyday common-sense reality. A chair is a chair, gold is valuable, and if you drop a rock, it falls. In this world, the merit from a universe of treasures is, well, it's enormous. But then there's ultimate truth, or sungwije. And from this perspective, all the labels and forms we take for granted are seen as empty of any real permanent substance. It's the world beyond our concepts.
And this is exactly why Subhuti's answer in the sutra is so incredibly sharp. He starts by saying, oh yes, that merit is immeasurably great, which is his nod to conventional truth. But then he immediately follows it up by saying that this merit isn't really merit at all, because from the ultimate view, even the idea of merit is just an empty concept. He's showing that he gets it, that he can see from both perspectives at the same time.
Okay, so the whole point is that understanding the sutra gives you this ultimate freedom, this untainted merit. But that leads to a pretty important question. What is this sutra really? Where is this unbelievable source of value?
Is it just a book? Something made of paper and ink that you can buy at a bookstore? The sutra itself points to something much, much deeper and more personal than just a physical object.
There's this beautiful old poem that just captures the idea perfectly. It goes, I have one sutra scroll, not made of paper or ink. Unfold it, and there are no words,
yet it constantly radiates a great light. It's pointing us away from something outside ourselves and towards something that's already within.
And that, right there, is the big reveal. The true sutra, the real source of all that inexhaustible merit and ultimate freedom, isn't a book. It's your own mind. It's your own consciousness. It's the natural potential for wisdom that you, me, and every single being already has. That is the real treasure, more precious than 1 billion galaxies filled with jewels.
Which brings us right back around to the sutra's most famous and most confusing statement. But now, with everything we've covered, we can actually make sense of it.
The Buddha actually says this: what is called the Buddhist teaching is not the Buddhist teaching. And your first reaction is probably, what? That makes no sense. But when you put on your two truths glasses, it becomes perfectly clear.
Look, from our conventional everyday world, of course we call it the Buddhist teaching. We need words and labels to communicate. But from the ultimate perspective, the actual reality that the words are pointing to is way beyond any label we could ever stick on it. You've heard the saying, the map is not the territory, right? It's the same idea. The words are just the map. They are not the enlightened reality they describe.
So, we end up right back where we started, but now the whole picture looks different. The greatest treasure in the universe isn't out there somewhere, it's right here inside. And the greatest teaching ever given isn't written down in a book. Which leaves us with one final, very personal question. If the ultimate truth is a sutra without any words, how do you even begin to read it?